announced.
This move appears to be aimed at encouraging migrants to apply for asylum from southern Mexico.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson stated she has no problem with the idea of an enforceable ethics code for the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court continues to face scrutiny regarding its ethics practices, with increasing calls from Democrats for tighter regulations.
Russian air defenses intercepted and destroyed 158 Ukrainian drones overnight, including 2 over Moscow and 9 over the surrounding region, according to the Defense Ministry.
46 of the drones were intercepted over the Kursk region.
United States and Iraqi military forces carried out a raid in western Iraq targeting ISIS leaders, resulting in the deaths of 15 ISIS militants, U.S. Central Command announced in a statement.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent checking and corrections are encouraged.
That's true. Yeah, and some tissues or something. Some allergy medicine, maybe. I don't know. What do you take for that? Benadryl? Benzedrine? Ben Frank? Is that what you take for allergy medicine? I don't know. Benjamin Franklin. Just send me Benjamin Franklin.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
$100 bills. How about that?
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Yeah, but what is your allergy's best friend? Is it Ben
My
Frank?
dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
A new study shows that sit-down comedy will lead to ass cancer. It's a contributing factor to ass cancer. So, there's that. We're going to bring that to you. That's what we do for you, because we love you that much. That much. That true. Plus, well, I'm just full complaint. That's what you tune in for, isn't it? The complaint. Good morning, people of Earth. Today is Tuesday. It feels like a Tuesday. Might not be a Tuesday. It might be a Monday in disguise of a Tuesday or something, or Tuesday in disguise of a Monday. But it is September 3rd, 2024. Now, it was the 3rd of September, the day I'll always remember. Now, that's not the day my daddy died. If you're wondering, Papa was not a Rolling Stone. He was more of a Beatle guy. But my partner in my early career, the blues man, died on September 3rd, 5 years ago today. It was a weird year that year because my best friend from my youth died on Memorial Day, and then the blues man died on Labor Day. And I had gigs on both days and found out that both of them died going to the gig. Made it for an unusual gig. Anyway, I don't mean to bring you down. Oh, the death. Oh, yeah, it's all about death. This is the Morning Death Show. September, good time to die. If I could choose a month to die, and it wouldn't be this September, it would be probably at least next September, hopefully September 2046, a couple months before the asteroid hits. But if you're going to die, if you could pick your month to die, it should be September's a good month to die because you had your whole summer, and then you don't have to deal with all the crap, the fall and winter that comes. If I'm just thinking. Maybe I'm wrong. You want to argue with me? Go ahead. Let's fight. Fucking put them up, man. I'm ready to go. If you can't tell. See, the problem with Wake Up, America, you got a dog that needs walking, is in order to wake up, it requires that you have been to sleep. And in this case, if you can't tell, I haven't. I'm delirious. I have not slept. Allergy season is here. September. It's like, you see how that doesn't really work. My thing is broke. As soon as the calendar flips from August to September, hay fever, make them sneeze, and then up all night and up all night. So yeah, that's what it is. We have a comedian, Ben Frank, who's been with us before. Ben, if you don't know, he's not a baseball player, but he's the World Series champion. How is that possible? Well, the World Series of comedy. Oh, it's going to be one of those days, is it? It's just going to like put in like T.D. Fenderson type jokes. That wasn't even a joke. It was a pun. It doesn't even count as a pun or a joke. It's just something stupid to say. I'm sorry I said it. I take it all back. But Ben Frank will be here. I think he's scheduled to be here. But that doesn't mean he'll be here. As you know, if you follow this program, just because somebody is scheduled to be here doesn't mean they'll be here. Now, if you were listening to this, this is News in 60. Yeah, bullshit. With the fake bot news. You learn that American and Iraqi forces went after ISIS. Now, that's kind of surprising to me because for 4 years that Donald Trump was in office, and 4 years since he's been in office, he would say that he defeated ISIS. ISIS was no more. So remember, mayonnaise is great for oiling a mustache. Please check out our sponsor, Wet Lip. I don't know who's writing that. It wasn't me, I promise. Even though it says my name on that, I would never write anything that stupid. It must have been a very stupid person with a little bit of hacking ability that got in, but more stupid than hacking, that got into my account and wrote that silly stuff about mayonnaise. Anyway, we have no shortage of stupid people, unfortunately. We have a plethora. And look, you can look that up. While we're listening to the Daily High Club tell us about getting high daily, you could look up plethora and get back to me on what it actually means. I could fool you. I could actually tell you you're going to watch Daily High Club and show you Mind Bloom. How about that? We'll do that.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches, we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Get the party started now. See, I'm less aggressive. Look at Ron Kane stealing my spot already. I'm like Sheldon on Big Bang. You're in my spot. Like it's OCD, ACDC. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I have not slept. And in the room right with me now is our chief lingerie correspondent and my best friend of the last 30 seconds, ACDC.
37 seconds.
37 seconds. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com.
Yes.
Where's my light? I can't see shit.
Good morning, America. Where's my light? I can't see shit. I like that.
Are your school-age children falling behind in school already? Hire a tutor from MindDogTV.com. Your child can learn valuable lessons from the Coffee with the Dog staff. Trust your kids' education to us. Really, it's okay. Really.
I just want to say, a couple of days ago, when the bots did not show up, he said he would consider doing the news. He can't even read his own writing. Never mind, like, read out of the paper. You can't read what you just wrote.
Because there's no light. MindDogTV.com. Support your local mercenaries.
He's going to prove it now. Well, okay. I did not know we were supplying tutors, but I don't think Mind Dog TV provides quality education. I'm just saying.
I don't think anywhere in there it says quality.
I don't. I'm just saying. If I were a parent, that would be my main concern. Like, who's the tutor? Is it Steven, who was here and then lost power or just ran away?
It depends on the subject. Because, of course, tutors specialize in subjects. They don't, like, teach you everything. That would be a teacher. So depending on the lesson you need learned, that would be the tutor that you would get from the Coffee with the Dog staff.
I thought a tutor was a two-family house.
No, you're thinking of the
tutor.
No, you're thinking of a two-door house, like a front door and a back door.
TUDOR, right? Tutor.
Oh, I thought you meant TWODOOR.
See, this is why you don't want to send your kids here for education. They will come home confused, probably gay or trans. And
but they will learn all of the uses of two-door.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, right now with our lingerie report, I can deport. How are you, Ron?
I'm doing good. I'm deporting some lingerie today, so it should be good.
Are you deporting the ISIS? Because I think ISIS were if American and Iraqi forces were fighting ISIS and ISIS was wearing lingerie, I think it would confuse them and maybe change the outcome of the battle a little bit.
Probably. And I have a brother-in-law that did tours in Iraq, and he said that the Iraqi army or people they were training for the army were very shall we say
friendly.
Yeah, kind of very effeminate when
wow.
they're training.
Imagine that. I don't know. That's not the image that comes to mind when you think of these guys with their Mind Dog, because they all have Mind Dog mustaches. I don't know if you've noticed, but I think this is the official mustache of the Iraqi
Even the
people.
women have them.
Yes, that's true. I was going to.
And the children as young as 3.
Right.
They've been fans since day one.
do you have a note from your mother for why you were not in school yesterday?
Well, I'm the HR department, so yesterday was a federal holiday. So I mean, if you guys showed up to work, that's your own fault.
Yeah, no. It was kind of a good show, I think, as far as shows go. As far as these shows go, it didn't totally suck. In other words, but
the rumor had it was that you were polishing balls.
Maybe I was.
I thought he was talking about me because that was after the show.
Oh,
yeah, I polished my balls. I think first you have to shave them before you can polish them, and you really don't ever get to see them. You get to see the sack they come in. You don't. The balls are.
You don't peel the sack back so you can polish them.
Well, you don't see the balls themselves. You never see the balls. I've never actually seen the balls. I've seen
That's
the sack.
What I'm saying. You don't have a removable sack?
No. Am I supposed to? Was I supposed to get that?
Yeah. Well, it's an option. It's one of those things that, like when you get a car, you can get like a roll down electric windows or.
I feel ripped off. Now, who do I? Can I get? I don't know.
You can be retrofitted. You can be retrofitted.
Retrofitted.
Yes.
I think
the thing is, I doubt that you can find original parts for 1959 semi-Italian male.
Semi-Italian. I'm sure a certain ex-girlfriend would love to hear that semi-Italian line because I was never Italian enough.
Welcome to the club. I had 2 women break up with me because I wasn't black enough. So
You seem black enough to me. I mean, some days you seem a little on the red side, but today you seem definitely black enough.
well,
What were they looking for? Because I'll tell you, with the Italian stuff with me, it was mostly about food, and the culture of food that Italian people. I don't know if you've ever been around Italian people, but oh boy, they just. Eating is like you wake up in the morning, like, what's for dinner? Like, wait, you haven't had breakfast.
Manja.
Yeah. So what's in the not black enough? Your cock isn't long enough? I mean, I'm just getting.
No, never had a
Not enough
complaint about that.
watermelon in your diet?
Well, the one particular one, the last one to break up with me because I wasn't black enough, broke up with me because she said I was too predictable.
I got it. Wait a minute. I got it. You haven't carjacked anybody this week.
She said that I was reliable. If I said I was going to do something, I did it. If I said I was going to be somewhere, I showed up there on time.
Oh, what a white guy.
I know.
Honestly, let's just stop for a second. Just showing up on time. Maybe that's a white guy thing, but it's certainly not a white musician thing.
Well, I'm not a white musician.
Right. Oh.
I wasn't a white musician then.
All right. Well, I'm just saying the white guys I know never show up on time.
And I never cheated on her.
Musician. Well, that's not a white thing. White guys cheat all the time. So I don't know. That's not a guy thing. You're not guy enough for her if you're not cheating on her. That's the problem.
Well,
you're not guy enough. Have you had yourself checked for guyness?
No, but after we broke up, after I moved out, she dated someone that she thought was black enough, and then broke up with him and wanted to get back with me.
Well, when you say broke up, you mean he went to prison?
No, I think he gave her syphilis.
If he was black enough, he had to go to prison.
I think he cheated on her and gave her syphilis.
Oh, well, wow.
No, chlamydia. I'm sorry, chlamydia.
I was going to say he must have had a time machine to go back. I mean, syphilis, is that still around? I thought syphilis went out with, like, I don't know, Gene Vincent.
Well, this was like 30 years ago.
All right. Oh, okay. Wow.
34 years ago.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think gonorrhea is the most common one currently.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
No, it's actually it's not though, especially with the elderly and
yes,
with the retirement homes because they're all out there fucking.
Yeah, I was about to say that, especially like in Florida and places where they have a plethora of old people in retirement.
Did you look it up? What is that actually?
A plethora of dusty vaginas.
Yeah.
I think that's what a group of them is called, the plethora.
Yeah. It's like a Kansas song, Dust in the Wind. So there's a story on the Atlantic today, and I can't find it. It came up in Apple News and said it's on the Atlantic, but so I went to the Atlantic website and I can't find it. It says DNA testing, prevalent DNA testing is showing just how prevalent incest is in human beings. I thought that was an interesting story. So people are saying they're 21 and whatever, the stupid DNA test coming back and saying, your father fucked his sister, or I don't know, all that kind of stuff. So you know what? We're all just bunch of perverts. It's basically.
But is it regional? My question is it regional? I mean, we expect it out of royalty and out of southern half of the United States. But do you see it, let's say, in parts of Africa, like Central Africa, there? But do you see it like in, let's say, the indigenous people of Antarctica? You
seem to have these people stereotyped as sister fuckers.
No, some of them are daughter fuckers, some of them are nieces.
All right, I mean, yeah, relative fuckers. It's all relative. But you seem to have a little bit of prejudice against these people of regions already in the back of your mind.
No.
So you're not the perfect person to do the test, is all I'm saying, because you will have a preconceived outcome that you will probably be.
No, I have preconceived anecdotal evidence.
That's fair enough, I guess.
Yeah. But
The guy who
are the indigenous people of Antarctica? Do they practice incest?
a bass player who used to be with us in the beginning of the band I'm with now, 23 years ago, 24 years ago. He had this thing about wanting to fuck all his cousins. It was so creepy, but he was a Sicilian.
All of them?
Well, all the girl cousins. I don't know about the guys.
And now, does it matter if they're cute or not?
Huh?
Does it matter if they were cute or not?
I don't know. The ones I knew all were. I don't know. I didn't see. I never saw him have an ugly cousin. Well, as far as the chicks go, all the guys were really ugly dudes. But he had a couple of the ones I knew. A couple grew up on my block, and they were kind of cute, kind of hot. I would do them, but they weren't my cousins. But it was just weird how he was always.
I would do them, but they weren't my cousins.
Hey, so I was allowed to do them. Is basically what I'm saying. I had permission. I had doctors.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you would do them, except for the fact that they weren't your
cousins. Oh no! You're reading me all wrong. You're putting the wrong emphasis. You're putting the comma in the wrong place. I think, or something.
Yeah, I would do them, except they weren't my cousins.
Yeah, I only do my cousins.
They were his cousins.
No, I wouldn't do any of my cousins. My cousins were all unattractive. Unlike his, I wouldn't do any of my cousins. I wouldn't let you do any of my cousins. I would protect you from having to do my cousins. If any of my cousins are listening, I'm just talking. I'm just bullshitting here. You're not as ugly as I just said you were. I'm lying.
Yeah, you're worse.
Anyway, yeah. So Ben Frank is supposed to be here. I'm not sure he remembers. I don't know. He's already late. He was supposed to be here in the first hour. So I don't know. Does anybody know what happened to Steven? He was there and then he wasn't there?
There's no note in the chat room or text. So maybe he was abducted.
Did he get scared or offended when I said we had
I'm willing to bet you he's actually tutoring one of those children that he probably has a client. He's tutoring a child right now.
Oh. When you say tutoring, I don't know.
It depends on what lesson they're paying for. I didn't see the contract.
Maybe I should send a reminder to Mr. Frank to be frank. Let me be frank. Let him be frank. Let Ben be frank. Ben Franklin. Right?
Sure.
Is that all?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you guys have a chat between yourselves while I look up Ben's email and send them?
Okay. So Ron, do you have any cousins that were cute enough that if they weren't your cousins, you'd would definitely?
No, I didn't have any cousins like that. They're all, not attractive.
You're not a cousin fucker.
No, I think it'd take a lot to have unless maybe you're from the South, to have a cousin that you'd want to fuck. But
see, there it goes again with this regional prejudice thing. I don't know. I lived in the South. I never wanted to fuck my cousins. I don't think it matters where you live.
I know that DNA story you're talking about. I think a lot of that is from the South.
That could be. I don't know.
I had a cousin that I met for the first time, but I didn't know she was my cousin. It was at a party.
What the hell
and
is
we started making out. Just starting to make out. Hadn't even gotten to first base yet. I just got on the plane.
Well, that's not making out. If you haven't got to first base, you're not making out.
I just started to make out.
You didn't just start. You were gonna start.
Yeah, we're getting ready to start.
All right, that's better.
We're about to lock lips for the first time, and another cousin walked in and goes, "Ooh," and I thought she was referring to the way I looked. like, "Ooh, don't kiss him." And I looked at her and I was like, "What's wrong with you?" She goes, "That's your cousin." And I'm like, "No, she isn't." And then she described how she was my cousin, and I went, "Oh my god!" and it was just weird because we still liked each other. We liked each other, but now that we're cousins, we couldn't do anything about it.
Wow.
And then there was the other cousin I met, and I was again a cousin I'd never seen before. I hadn't been to I went to visit my mother and my aunt, and I walked in. There was this really attractive woman standing in the dining room, and I introduced myself right away, and my mother saw that look in my eye, and she goes, "This is your cousin," and I was like, "Oh,
That sucks.
oh, okay."
That's what I would have said. Ah, that sucks.
Now, on the other hand, my brother met one of my cousins, and he was like really smitten. They were smitten with each other, and my mother said to my brother, Ralph, you know that's your cousin, and he said his answer was, "How far removed?"
Wow. Well, see now a third cousin, or I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? I've heard of Pop. What is that Pop? Is that Steven?
That's Steven.
That's a shame.
So Steven, how was the lesson? How was the lesson?
How was
you
the
popped
lesson?
out to tutor a student.
See, he doesn't even
No,
know.
my computer crashed.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're having Ben Frank. This is sad. I wanted Ben Frank. Somebody get me a Ben Frank. No?
Paging Dr. Frank.
Actually, we can get you a Bent Frank. We just put a little T in there.
Yeah.
I'll message Ben and see if he answers me.
Don't bother. He's too important. He's probably right now playing in the World Series of Poker. He just got that
World Series of Comedy. World Series of Comedy.
What the doesn't
tomato
matter. Yeah.
I guess not.
Actually, well, I guess they both require a certain degree of
luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it depends on who you're up against.
And who you bring.
I mean, you could be like a really bad comic and be up against a bunch of worse comics and, clean up.
You could also be a shit comic and bring 30 people with you and just win by votes.
Yeah.
That World Series of Comedy, that was a kind of a pretty, I don't want to say stiff comedy. There were a lot of comedians I know, and none of them, as far as I know, suck. I mean, I haven't seen them all live, but
but you also didn't see what material they did on the competition either.
I knew a few of them that performed and did really good, or that are really good comics as well, that didn't do hot either. So,
yeah, it also depends on the judges. You could actually have really good material, then have judges go like, "Yeah, but I don't get that joke."
Well, yeah, I mean, contests are cool. They can give you an opportunity. I just hope people understand that it's not a direct measure of talent.
No, it's not.
I will say that competition. Look at me saying I will say. I'm acting like Willie. Something just happened to me. I must have went to jail for robbing a flower shop or something.
Ben says
I will say.
Ben says it's 10:15, not 9:15.
Oh well, he put down 9:15 on the chart. That's fine. He can come in the second hour. All right.
If we're not busy.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be busy, to be honest with you.
Not busy.
But that competition in particular is one of the few that has coaching and people that actually give you constructive feedback on how to do better in the next round and all that stuff. Because most of these things are just about taking money. And that's the thing that. Oh, by the way. Tonight, vote for Erica after I think it's the semifinals.
Of what?
America's Got Talent.
I don't watch that show, so
I don't either. But you can still vote.
Me neither, but
no, I can't.
I'm gonna watch and vote for Erica.
AGT.com/vote. Vote for
too many letters. I'll never remember all that.
See now, nobody's going to do anything nice for you when I ask.
Okay. That's so shit.
I'm just going to read the next websites going on today. All right, so what do we do for an hour while we wait for Ben Frank? I'll tell you what. I'll just go sneeze.
Don't do
Do you
that.
guys have do you have allergies, you dudes? No allergies.
A little bit. I get a little stuffy, little runny nose around this time of year, but that's about it.
Does it happen like as it or goes from August 31st, like midnight, August 31st to September 1st?
It's very close to that. I was told I had COVID like 3 days ago by a hospital visit. So, and it happened right around then. So it's like 31st hit. I was like, man, I feel like shit. Then my chest.
Do you have COVID, or they just told you have COVID?
No, I do have COVID. I do have COVID.
Ew.
Oh,
Ew.
Jesus, man! Look how close we are.
Fucking put a mask on that big.
Hey, listen,
fucking
GD, you're on the bottom. It can't go it can't go more than 6 feet out or down, and because of how tall you are, mathematically you're fine. But listen, it really they're treating it just like a regular fucking cold. I was like, okay, so do I need to quarantine? They're like, no. I was like, do I need to? They're like, no, just go home, take a couple days. They say go home, take a couple of days, go home when I go back to doing whatever when I feel better.
Did they give you that Paxlovid or whatever it is it's called?
They said based on when my symptoms started, I was a few days past the effective time, but I mean,
Okay.
I've had like a light fever and like some coughing. That's it. I don't even have I don't even have a fever. I don't have like the muscle aches or the sweats or nothing.
So you're
like,
missing out. You're missing out on all the good parts of COVID. The fever leading to the dreams where you get raped by aliens.
Well, the first time I had COVID, I had very similar dreams to that, and then my heart stopped. So, yeah.
See, that's the best part of it.
I know it, man. Well, to be fair, it was my fault that my heart stopped because I was in the hospital, and then my chest was hurting. I was coughing up blood. Then they gave me pain meds, and then they gave me too much.
So much fun.
And then my heart stopped, and then I woke up with an adrenaline shot, and they were like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" And they're like, "You almost died." And I'm like, "Cool, I'm hungry." So it was Grange Hospital. Don't go to it.
I'm hungry.
Well, I do have a couple showbiz stories. Nothing too crazy.
I miss showbiz so much.
I'm wondering.
Okay, fine. Don't share my excitement, you bastards.
No, something I thought was going to be in showbiz that was like an iffy story. It was kind of show. What the fuck was it? I'm having a dementia moment. Somebody.
Gina Rollins.
Is it the release of your sex tape that you released at 5:42 a.m. on Twitter this morning?
I have to think about that.
I know.
His hands were soft and supple.
I could have sworn that was. I think I released that several years ago because it was in my Facebook memories the other day.
Well, that's what happened.
I woke up at 5:42 a.m. to a series of Matt Nappo X posts.
Well, somebody must have shared. Maybe it came up in my memories and somebody shared. I don't know.
3 hours
I'm
ago,
pretty sure it was like 5 years.
Posted an Elvis thing 3 hours ago. That gave me a nightmare because I fell back asleep.
What happened? You say Ian saying did Stanhope cry wolf again? What was there another thing?
No,
somebody left a cross at his front gate.
Yeah, that's no big deal. That happens to me all the time. I'm sure it happens to GD once a week.
Well, the difference is the one that they leave at GD's is on fire. That's dangerous.
I'm sorry. No, it's not on fire. It's lighted. They tell you it's lighted. It's not on fire. It's not burning. It's lighted.
I'm glad I didn't comment what I was going to comment then last night. I won't even say what it was. It was just terrible. It was just a terrible thing. Stanhope was telling people to vote for Erica tonight, endorsing her. That's all I was going to say. And I was going to comment something really rude about what a Stanhope endorsement might lead to. I'm glad I didn't because now I would be a suspect.
Now, Ian, are you sure that cross wasn't put there as part of a drill that the Klan was having at his house? Like an exercise. The Klan was like having one of their practice sessions.
He's not a Klan guy.
In front of the house, and
no, I don't think they're. You know what? I don't think there's any black people in the Stanhope cult, though. No.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's a drill. Just like the INS or the other drill that they had at his house. It's like he's like on their list. You do one drill and you're on the list. It's like giving money to a charity, and then all of a sudden all the charities want money from you. So now everybody wants to do drills at Stanhope's house. So the Klan are doing the drills. They put the cross up and then they yell, "Hey nigger, get out of here. We're going to shoot you."
Whoa.
That kind of stuff. So, and then Stanhope puts his hands on his head.
You're
he crawls
backwards
out. He crawls back out and pretends he's black. He's got blackface on. This is part of the drill. So.
Wow.
Listen, Gloves, the opinions and views expressed on this show are those of the hosts and the guests and do not reflect the views of
not the host.
Of GD Fenderson.
Of the rest of us. That's GD. It's all him.
No. That was the script. Y'all sent me the script to read this last night. Now you're gonna back out on me.
Whoa. That's first of all, that's not true because our writers are on strike right now. They've been on strike for at least the last year. I don't want to hear
I didn't say it was well written. I just said it was a script.
This is funny. It's a funny show, isn't it? Very funny. I like to tune in for laughs in the morning. That's what I do.
I'm gonna be Matt Nappo for Halloween. By the way, I've already got black hair dye for my mustache, and I'm very excited. I got the glasses. They were Harry Potter glasses, but they work. And
I'm glad you are such an
optimist. You mean like
you think I'm going to let you live
Y Potter glasses?
What?
With little eyebrows on them.
Oh, I already got eyebrows. I'm just gonna fill them in with a Sharpie.
Mm.
Yep. I'm excited about this weekend. Are you excited about this weekend coming up? This exciting, this whole month. I'm excited. This is a gig-filled month. A giggity filled gigging September. I think I have. Let me see.
Matt, seriously though, where you go to your weed place, the Puspatuk, do they have like Halloween decorations up already? Because like everybody else has Halloween decorations, and will they be like doing trick or treat? So you go there dressed as
celebrate Halloween.
If you go there dressed as a Puspatuk, with a little baggie, will they give you like some?
I think we Okeechobee, and not Puspatuk.
Okeechobee.
Didn't we discuss this? I feel like we had this conversation.
We did discuss it, but I wasn't sure you ever got the name right, so I wasn't going to try it.
Yeah, no, I didn't get the name. Okeechobee.
I still don't trust you. I won't trust you until
I still don't trust myself.
Until I see it in print, that's when I'll trust you. Yeah, or until somebody in the chat room corrects you, then I'll.
I don't trust myself.
I will trust Evil Ian's corrections over your stated facts.
Yep, it's Okeechobee. I got it right. It's
you can read it. No, you can see it, and I still don't trust that you read it right.
Yeah, now they're throwing an N in there. Where'd that N come from?
See? Where's that?
Okeechobee. It's Okeechobee. Okeechobee.
Yeah, Mac goes, where'd that N come from?
That N was not there yesterday. There's somebody stuck an N in there.
There are no N's allowed.
No N words allowed.
They have a Facebook page. The Okeechobees have a Facebook page. That's pretty. I should see what's on their Facebook page.
So
right?
I can't find
the question is, do they celebrate Halloween? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't celebrate Halloween. It's Halloween every day. You get your fucking fake Indian costume on. You come down and make believe it's Halloween. You go trick. Oh,
I have it on good authority. It's actually pronounced Uncle Joby.
I've heard that as well.
Strawberry Festival pictures here, and yeah, now wow. See.
Look at that, Matt. Check that out.
I don't like
Halloween costume. He's you.
Like it. I don't like it.
Do you have any like
very disrespectful?
Can you put a little melanin in there? Because Matt has a little more melanin.
No, I don't have any melanin. I
don't have any.
You have more than Steven.
It's not melanin.
That's true. I'm damn near see-through.
It's hepatitis.
Whoa, that is not true.
Thank God. It could have been jaundice.
Oh yeah, that too. That's a little of each. We like to spread it around, or mix it up or something. I'm just looking at the Uncle Chunky, their Facebook page. It looks like this looks like GD wearing a Steven costume for Halloween.
Let's see.
That's what it looks like. You got it? You got your Uncle Chuggy?
Uncle Joby.
Uncle Chug. I can't share it from over there. I have to go over here and find it. I don't know. It's just it's too much work. So much work. Who's texting me? Every day on this show, I'm getting texted by people who should not be texting me. But you know what? I shouldn't complain because the other day it was gigs. But I like it if you got gigs, by all means, text away. Uncle Chunk, it comes right up. Wow, how about that, Uncle Chuck? Uncle Chunk, I should follow them, right?
Probably.
Well, they are your people now. You should follow them.
Here you go.
You always follow your people.
Let me share this page. If I can share this page, can I share this page?
Sure.
All right. How about that? Look, that's GD wearing his Steven costume for Halloween. That's what that is. Ha ha ha. All right. So now you've seen. Now I want you all to follow the Uncle Chuggies on the Patak reservation.
The Papusatuk reservation.
Right. You got to make your reservations now. But so they don't. Every store, though, the grocery store, the whatever you call them, supermarkets. Is that what we call them in America? They've had Halloween stuff out since like mid-August, and that bothers me. Like, first of all, I'm not eating any candy that is fucking 3 months old and been sitting in the store or in bags and people buying it now. I don't like they try to. What are you going to get it cheaper now because there's less demand for it? No, it's going to be the same price if you buy it the week before, and it might be fresher if you buy it the week before because all the idiots will buy the bad candy now. That's all.
Actually, they don't put out even the candy that they put out like the day before. They made it all last year.
Right? Yeah.
Check. They all have the same expiration date.
Yeah. Ron used to work for all of the Hershey, Hershey Lays, and they would,
the Hershey Lays,
the Hershey Squirt, yeah, and the machines would push out squirts of Hershey's a year in advance for people to put in the store.
Well, that just makes me want to throw somebody off the roof.
Yeah.
And you think that's bad? What do you hear about candy corn? At least according to Lewis Black.
Oh, that's gross.
But
Lewis Black had a routine.
Christmas stuff will be out probably within a couple of weeks.
Probably like mid-September.
They should already be out at Lowe's and stuff like that.
Yeah, Lowe's already has out the Halloween stuff.
I was gonna say, when I worked at Walmart, the Christmas stuff was usually already in the back being prepped while the Halloween stuff was still out. So, like when it was just coming out. So, yeah, rough.
I miss Ben Frank already.
Me too.
No
shows.
Damn it.
Are you guys up on any of the? I don't know. There were rallies and stuff yesterday. Political
in Israel.
Well, as a white guy, I avoid rallies.
Well, the rallies were all white Jews. The ones that GD just mentioned, the Israeli rallies. They want to get Netanyahu BB'd. They want a BB. Want a BB. So Elon Musk is threatening Venezuela with war. He's going to go. Elon Musk thinks that because he bought Trump and owns him, that if Trump wins, he has the right to declare war because he now owns Trump.
He's already declared war
On Venezuela?
No, people on Twitter. Sorry, X.
Oh yeah, no. This is real war. This is not a war of words. He is the fake judge is forcing Apple and Google to remove. Oh, this is a different one. But no, it was the wrong tweet there. But he tweeted out basically that if Venezuela does not relinquish its parts that it has, recovered parts from a SpaceX thing, that there will be war.
Hey,
like,
Elon
wait a
Musk
minute. I don't care how
shoot him.
much money you give to a candidate. No civilian should be threatening a country or talking.
And the thing is most people don't have the means to do that, except for maybe Elon Musk.
Yeah, in fact, he can hire his own mercenaries. He
to
doesn't
declare
have
war
to.
on a country. He can afford mercs. He can afford to drop rockets on people. He has SpaceX satellites. He can cut out their communications. I mean,
He can cut off their all of their little Twitter stuff.
Well, I
it's
don't
like an
think
autistic Batman.
I don't think he has that kind. Listen, how much money do we give to other countries in wartime? Billions and billions and billions. I don't think he has that. I mean, I know Twitter cost him $40 billion. He lost all that. Basically,
Well, that wasn't all his money anyway.
Yeah,
He had
that's
investors.
that's the thing with these people with money. They don't usually use their money for stuff like that.
Yeah, but my point is even $240 billion, which they said was his worth then, that's not enough to wage war against a country. I mean, trillions are spent in war.
maybe
Vietnam,
Venezuela,
I think we
though.
spent like $7 trillion.
Yeah, but that was back then when we actually had.
Wait, hold on. Steven just called Venezuela a pussy.
I mean,
No, it's not that they are. It's just that
No.
Venezuela wouldn't. Maduro's is actually with Elon Musk, so he probably helped Elon Musk.
So why would he be threatening him with war?
He just wants his toys back.
Give me my rocket back.
He's like a kid that got his toys taken. Like, give it back, or I'm gonna throw a fit. Basically, is what's happening. It's just
although Maduro did lose the election, he's just pulling a Trump right now.
All right. Well, I'm threatening you guys with war. How about that?
Oh, bring it
I'm
on.
not scared.
You don't think I'm as bad as Venezuela?
Nope. Because you know why?
Why?
Because I can go undercover and I can be like, stand down, and they'll be like, okay, Matt.
No. You look like Mr. Freeze with a paste-on mustache.
You look like Mr. Freeze with the real mustache. So this is what I'm saying. This works well.
I don't look like Mr. Freeze at all.
Are you going to Chicago to help out in that apartment building that the Venezuelans have taken over?
I wasn't aware.
I'm not going to Colorado to help save them from the Venezuelans. No,
Venezuelans.
Yeah, Venezuelans.
Venezuelans. All right, that's the show for you, folks. Sorry, Ben Frank could not make it here today, and all we had was this nonsense for you. I apologize for that. It's all on me. It's all my fault. Don't blame these idiots. They are what they are. College dropouts,
middle school dropouts. I was exhausted when I woke up morning. I had an earworm.
Kindergarten dropouts. Preschool dropouts is what they are. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I'm really upset that I think I look more like Mr. Freeze than you do.
Yeah. Well, you're a white boy, and
well, okay. Well, first of all, you don't gotta be so
you are too now
with your insults.
I can get dark. I can get really dark. See how dark I can get?
Yeah, we know.
Look how dark I can get.
Hey, look at that.
What's this? That's Mr. Freeze?
Yeah.
It's Matt when he gets a text about a gig.
No. I can't see. It's not big enough. Could you enlarge it?
I know that's what she said.
You hear that a lot, don't you, Matt?
Yes. Oh, that's Arnold as Mr. Freeze, right?
Yep.
No, see, that's not the Mr. Freeze I was talking about. I was talking about the original Mr. Freeze from the television show, who was I can't remember his name now. Fuck. But he was
that's fair.
Cesar Romero.
Who? No, Cesar Romero was the Joker.
Oh, Frank. Shit.
I didn't even
Not
know
Frank.
they put Mr. Freeze in the original TV show.
No, right? No, Frank. Victor something.
Oh, Victor Orban. No.
No.
Oh,
Just no.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. You want to do showbiz now because I'm fucking bored already. I'm bored with this fucking show. If I were tuned in, I'd be tuning out. That's all I'm saying. What is this?
Whoa.
I think you're a loser.
Pretty much what I feel like. Thank you for reminding me of that. All right, let's do. Can we do showbiz now?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, been ready.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showbiz.
That video did not turn me white.
Showbiz, everybody.
Fish on a donut or something.
Yes, the donut. Yeah, so it is Tuesday after the holiday weekend. Hopefully, you're still recovering from your hangover.
Hopefully. You want me to still be recovering?
I will not do that, Ron, ever.
I thought you would want me to be fully recovered already. A friend would say, I hope you're fully recovered already.
Yeah,
only an enemy would say, I
that.
hope you continue to be in recovery for the rest of your shitty life.
Real nice
that's
job.
the way I present it. So there is film festivals happening, and apparently erotic cinema is back.
She's so pretty. Look how pretty she is. Oh, she's so pretty.
I know. I love being a creepy
Nicole
old guy
Kidman
that
stars
loves
in a
the young
movie
ladies.
called Baby Girl, which is about she plays a teacher that finds BDSM, and then the picture up there in the right is Daniel Craig hugging this guy in a movie called Queer, which is about some man-on-man action, and he plays
Hell
a
yeah.
guy who's pursuing a bi-curious Navy sailor. So
Doesn't seem like he's all that bi-curious anymore. He's like bi-knowledgeable. He's like ready to be a bi-tutor.
I think he's like buy now, pay later.
Buy now, pay later, right? But I didn't know that was Nicole Kidman. I'm thinking she looks, of course she's had work, but she looks very young in that picture. And I just got a thing for redheads like that, strawberry blondes.
I know. That's why I had to shave my beard off, because you kept sending me weird messages in the
I know all about it. But I feel like this is a recurring role for her, because she has played a teacher that fucked kids before, right?
Well, in this one, she is apparently nude or scantily clad for most of it. That's
Thank
why.
I'll pay up.
Movie.
I'll pay now. Where do I'll go right now. Right now.
Yeah. So the big consensus is that sex is back in the movies finally, instead of all these homoerotic superhero movies with guys walking around in tight suits and getting themselves oiled up. I mean, if that's your thing, but if you want to see man on man true action, go check out this movie Queer.
Or you could just tune into Coffee with the Dog weekdays, 9 a.m.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, enjoy the suffering.
All right. So here we have 10 years of Netflix. So I have some stats here. I think it'll be kind of fun. We can go through this shit.
Wait,
here.
first you have to explain what the fuck am I looking at over there? It's like, is that a heart? What the hell is that? Like a I don't know, a ass tumor? What the hell?
No, that's some other organ. I don't know if that's heart versus lung, heart versus kidney.
I think it's an ass tumor.
No, it's heart and stomach.
Oh.
And the heart is supposed to be pumping cheese on the sandwich, but this is what AI came up with.
I thought it was my ass tumor. It looks like my ass tumor.
Yeah, I've been
Looks
generating
like my ass cancer for sure.
I've been generating a lot of AI pictures for the Mr. Tongue comedy bucket. That's going to be happening later this month. So I need this for the game show. So it's there.
All right, give us some stats. What are the stats?
All right, since Netflix launched stand up on their platform about 10 years ago, they've done 350 plus number of specials. And the first one being Aziz Ansari's Buried Alive.
That's not specific enough. 350 plus could be 1 million, or it could be 351. We need specificity.
Specificity.
Yeah, right. So total 350. There's 200 plus comedians with their own Netflix
again special. With the plus.
Yes. 5 number of specials from Eliza, Jim Jeffries, and Verdas. They're the most prolific comedians on Netflix because they have 5 specials total.
Pretty weird. I have to say, I'm surprised at that because when I did, I do these reels. I don't know if you know, I do these shorts and reels and stuff. I don't know if you know that about me. Maybe I'm giving away the secret here. But the comedy reels and shorts, Jim Jeffries got the least fucking attention at it. Nobody was interested in Jim Jeffries. I mean, I could put out I don't know, you just pull out some really lame comedian, what's his name? Pete Holmes. And it gets 10 times as many views as the Jim. Nobody is interested in Jim. I think he's fucking really funny. I appreciate his humor a lot, but no interest at all in him.
Well, that explains why nobody has any interest in him then. If you appreciate his humor, how good could he be?
That's true. That's true.
Well, it's because he really feeds into the nepotism that tends to rub off on people. So be abrasive.
What do you think the most watched stand-up special is?
Joe Rogan, the burning the ships, burn the boats, burn the.
Amy Schumer.
Nope.
Shane
Steven, you got a
Gillis.
guess?
Shane Gillis.
Nope. That would be Dave Chappelle. Sticks and Stones.
I would have went with Chappelle, but I just thought that's too obvious. It's got to be.
That's kind of was my mindset too, because Chappelle's like, yeah, that makes sense.
I just didn't know who did shows on Netflix. I was just spitting out names.
You did not know. Wait. You don't know that Dave Chappelle is like Mr. Netflix?
No, I don't.
See, this is the problem. Wow. You have to know about the business you're in.
I do know he had specials. I just don't know what networks they're on.
No excuse. That's no excuse. You should
fine.
Take yourself out and beat the shit out of yourself right now.
Hey, GD, can you GD meet me on the roof?
I don't beat myself.
Throw yourself off the roof.
I pay people for that.
He beats himself all the time. He did it twice this morning before the show.
Who do you think has?
You think I'm young enough to do that twice in one day?
So who do you think had the largest audience attending a Netflix special?
Largest live audience, or
you mean by
Kevin
pound?
Hart? Kevin Hart.
Nope.
It's a woman.
Amy Schumer.
It's a woman, isn't it?
No.
No, it's not a woman.
No.
Is it Dave Chappelle again?
Now the largest audience is Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Yeah, because it was done at LA Stadium.
Yeah, because he got fined for staying there late on that show. Yeah, I remember his story about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. What's the number of comedians first featured in a short Netflix special as a part of a series? Something like the comedy lineup or the stand-up.
What was the number of comics?
Yeah, but then they did a short special. Then they got their own hour-long specials. How many comics do you think that is?
86.
5.
No, the number is 12.
All right, that's a little less than I guessed.
A little more than I guessed.
Brian Simpson is one of them, right? Right?
No.
No?
No.
Yes.
No.
White
Yes.
weed.
Brian Simpson has a Netflix special, and he started on the comedian, whatever the comic. What is that thing where they do like an hour and they have like 4 comics on it or something?
Yeah, he did. He did one of those, and he does have his own Netflix special, but that Netflix special is only like 45 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you're worried about that,
I'm all wrong.
all right.
I'm always wrong.
Who has the most streamed comedy special in a measured week, according to Nielsen?
I don't know.
Amy
Kevin
Schumer.
Hart. Kevin Hart.
Nope, it would be Chris Rock, Selective Outrage.
That's basically Kevin Hart. That's Kevin Hart adjacent.
I was going to say, my second guess was going to be Crack the Sky, but.
Okay, what's the longest special on Netflix, which comes from Thailand, is 2 hours and 52 minutes.
Comedy special at 2 and one with one person, one comedian doing 2 hours and 52 minutes.
I don't know if I haven't seen it, but it's almost 3 hours long.
Wow.
A little bit longer than they could have
Jim
been
Gaffigan.
like
Jim
Gilligan's
Gaffigan.
Island.
No, it was it was some special in Thailand.
I bet you they felt stranded.
Okay, how many? This is the last one here. Number of former SNL live cast members with Netflix specials. How many?
I'm gonna say 5.
3.
The answer is 15.
15.
15.
I didn't know there were
Eddie
15
Murphy, Chris
anchors
Rock.
of SNL.
Yes.
A Weekend Update. Who?
Some of them include Dana Carvey, Pete Davidson, Leslie Jones, Tracy Morgan, and of course, Mr. Norm Macdonald.
Oh, see, you threw me off here because I was thinking only Weekend Update anchors, but because of the picture. But you're just talking about SNL cast members. Because Dana Carvey was never on Weekend Update. He was not a part of it.
Leslie Jones wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're interested, there is a movie coming out about, I guess, Saturday Night Live's first episode ever.
Right. Kelly's a little upset about that.
Why is that?
Because they don't mention the host at all being there for that. She said the host was her father, George Carlin, and he was there for the whole thing because she was young, but she was old enough to remember that week. And they don't mention George Carlin in the thing. And it's like, how could you not mention the host? And Saturday Night Live was 90 minutes in those days. And he put in a full week. And like he was not used to, at that point, working a job, because that was like go to the job every day for a week. He was basically going to, so she remembers it quite clearly. And she expressed her disappointment that he wasn't even mentioned in that.
Yeah, that is disappointing, considering that he's considered one of the prolific stand-ups of all time, and he should be fucking included.
Right.
Moving on, there is
Rhonda Handsome, who was on the show, was on that Saturday Night Live thing.
So there is a documentary coming out about the sexuality of Abraham Lincoln. So I know most of you have been waiting for this. It's finally coming out.
Well, I was waiting for the sequel to Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer.
Now, what's with the David Bowie makeup there? I mean, I know he was gay. I mean, bi or whatever. He liked to fuck Marines, right? The Marines who were in the security force around the White House at the time. He would go to bed with them, but that doesn't make him David Bowie all of a sudden. I mean, the makeup they got on him. What's the significance of that? It's kind of weird.
It's just because it's this is the picture from the article, and they're just talking about how much he loved dudes.
The bigger, the better.
Matter of fact, he wrote the song "All the Young Dudes."
So if you're interested in that, that is coming out.
Abe the Hoople.
Yes, Abe the Hoople. All the Young Dudes.
All right.
Yesterday was Keanu Reeves' birthday.
He asked people Maybe this is the thing I was remembering. Maybe not, but it seemed a little tacky that he's asking people to wish him happy birthday on Twitter. Basically begging for happy birthdays.
That's not him.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He's not begging for birthdays.
He was. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it right up.
Is this one of these verified Twitter accounts?
Yes.
Okay, then we definitely know it's not him then.
So is he getting like another John Wick movie or?
I think they are making another one. He's 60 years old now. He does not look 60.
Well, that's an old picture. That's from last year.
Yeah, that ain't what he looks like now. The picture he posted last night, he looked 60. Definitely did. Got a lot of white going on in the beard. You know, things 60-year-olds do.
Well, Ron is only 28, and he's got white in his beard.
Right. He's only 28 what?
28 watts.
Uh-huh. That's what I'm saying. See, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of Keanu Reeves here. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, yeah.
Now, whose Oscar is that in the background, Ron?
What's I don't know. Somebody's Oscar.
No. Let me guess. This is from the movie Blackheart?
Yeah, no, just more AI pictures of stomach and heart together.
And ass cancer. Holy crap.
Ooh, look at that heart on.
About 70 million Keanu Reeves accounts on Twitter. How do you know which one's real?
Yeah,
Are
so
any of them real?
You come in here with your fucking Keanu Reeves agenda, and look where we're at.
Are any of them real? Is any one of them real? That's what I want to know.
Probably.
So what was the prompt for this heart and stomach thing? I'm just wondering why the heart is black.
No, this came out of the same group of heart pumping cheese onto a sandwich.
I don't see a sandwich or cheese.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the cheese is coming. Give it a second.
Almost there. I'm almost there.
So that's showbiz, everybody. Enjoy Titty Tuesday. And remember, tomorrow is hump day.
So we have any gamer news? Oh, we got to do regular news because we're a little late.
No, we're not.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do regular news? I forgot. We do have regular news. Why don't we do regular news while we wait for Ben Frank to be Frank?
Yeah. Well, let's do regular news while we wait for the sitcom to do gamer news.
Christ, did a cow shit in here?
Somebody said I look.
United States and Iraqi military forces carried out a raid in western Iraq targeting ISIS leaders, resulting in the deaths of 15 ISIS militants, U.S. Central Command announced in a statement.
7 U.S. service members involved in the early morning raid last Thursday sustained injuries, according to a defense official who confirmed that all the injured were in stable condition. U.S. Central Command forces and Iraqi security forces conducted a partnered raid in western Iraq in the early hours. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
Russian air defenses intercepted and destroyed 158 Ukrainian drones overnight, including 2 over Moscow and 9 over the surrounding region, according to the Defense Ministry.
46 of the drones were intercepted over the Kursk region, where Ukrainian forces have recently made the largest incursion into Russian territory since World War II. Additionally, 34 drones were shot down over the Bryansk region, 28 over the Voronezh region, and 14 over the Belgorod region, all of which share borders with Ukraine. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson stated she has no problem with the idea of an enforceable ethics code for the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court continues to face scrutiny regarding its ethics practices, with increasing calls from Democrats for tighter regulations. I am considering supporting it as a general matter, she told CBS's Norah O'Donnell regarding the enforcement mechanism. I'm not going to comment on specific policy proposals, but from my perspective, I don't have any problem with an enforceable code. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Mexico will provide escorted bus transportation from southern Mexico to the U.S. border for non-Mexican migrants who have secured a U.S. asylum appointment, the government announced.
The National Immigration Institute stated that the buses will depart from the southern cities of Villahermosa and Tapachula. This move appears to be aimed at encouraging migrants to apply for asylum from southern Mexico, rather than pushing north to Mexico City or directly to the border. Paul Gomez reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
It's really not the latest. It's like it's like stale bread.
Pope Francis will commence an 11-day journey on Tuesday, visiting Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, East Timor, and Singapore.
The 87-year-old Pope's longest trip of his pontificate will cover 20,000 miles. It will be his 45th trip since becoming the Pope in 2013, including a visit to Canada in 2022. The trip, originally scheduled for September 2020, was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. His most recent trip outside Italy was to Luxembourg and Belgium from September 26th to the 29th. Kevin Sanders reporting.
San Francisco 49ers rookie wide receiver Ricky Pearsall was shot and seriously injured Saturday afternoon during an attempted robbery in downtown San Francisco.
Authorities announced that a 17-year-old male suspect has been taken into custody. At a news briefing on Saturday night, San Francisco Police Chief William Scott explained that Pearsall was walking about a block from Union Square around 3:30 p.m. local time when the armed suspect approached him, leading to a physical altercation. Kyle Norris reporting.
A small twin-engine plane crashed into a residential area in Fairview, Oregon on Saturday, authorities reported.
At least 3 people are missing, according to an initial report by Gresham Fire Chief Scott Lewis. 2 individuals were on board the plane, and 1 resident is also unaccounted for, Lewis said. At least 5 families have been displaced, and a 6th condo is currently being assessed, according to Lewis. Fairview is located about 20 minutes from Portland, Oregon. Liam White reporting.
1 person was killed and another hospitalized following a shooting at the Michigan State Fair on Saturday, police reported.
The fair, taking place at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi, saw attendees fleeing after gunshots were heard. Witnesses told WXYZ, "We're all trying to run. Duck off somewhere," one person said. A significant police presence was observed around the area after the shooting. The Novi Police Department stated that the incident is still under investigation. Lawrence Keller reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
What it doesn't say what the charge. It's the governor of New York's chief of staff's home was raided, but it's not saying what the charges were. Her and her husband were taken into custody. They're not saying what the charges were. You got to say what the charges were. See, this is America. We still have a right to know what crime you're being charged with, and the public has a right to know. You know, you're arresting people, coming to their house, raiding their mansion. Got to say what the charge was. I know. We're just taking you. We don't have to tell you why. This is not an American thing. This is a fascist thing. What's going on with this guy over here with his weirdness?
he found a green piece of something. Why is there a hole in it?
I don't know. Yeah, why is there a hole in it? You think that's hysterical?
It's pretty funny. Even Ron's trying not to crack a little hee hee ha ha over the. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
No, a little smile is one thing. He was like laughing like a robust laugh over it. Like
that was
because I know what I did with it. Because I know what I did with it.
Oh, so do I. You nasty.
Wow. All right, you guys host the show. I'm out of here. I'm sick of this crap.
Welcome to Coffee with the Black, or Black with Coffee, or
Black Coffee.
Black Coffee with the dog.
Never mind. Let somebody else host it. Somebody who has a brain. We don't have anybody here on staff, but we can put an ad in the paper. Looking
See,
for that.
Parents, if you trust your children to us, we can teach them the very things that you're seeing here today.
Right. Let's do this. How about this? You like this? It's time to meet our guest. Now, Ron has met our guest. I have met our guest. Stephen and GD have not met our guest. And the minute he meets them, he's probably going to say, I'm out of here. I don't want to be part of this. Ben Frank. I believe Ben Frank. Now, I'm not sure about this, but I think he was the winner of the World Series of Comedy. If he's not, I apologize for spreading misinformation again, but I think he was last year at this time. Anyway, he's here now. He's a New York-based, big, muscular Jewish guy, which is unusual. Good morning, Ben. How are you? Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Good morning. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Did you win the World Series of comedy last year?
So I've won some of their competitions. I didn't win the main event in Vegas last year. They have other satellite competitions which I've won, but I didn't win the main event.
So I did spread misinformation. I apologize to our audience for once again spreading misinformation. So what have you been? First of all, we're kind of talking about competitions and all that kind of stuff, and the benefits, or did anything come of it for your career because you won that regional version of the World Series of Comedy? Did it benefit you in any way other than that one night or whatever the prize was for that one night?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten work from it. So yeah, one of the competitions that I won was at Comedy House New Orleans, and so I've been able to work at that club since then. Going back there to close out shows and do some stuff at that club. So I have gotten work at that specific club, and then from doing well in World Series of Comedy, I've also been able to talk to some other bookers who come through there, and they have given me work. For example, one of the satellite competitions I did well, and this year one of the judges was a booker of another club, so I'm actually going to headline that club this weekend. So it has gotten me other work, which is
very good.
The goal.
My problem is at least most of the ones I hear about don't. They're basically just about taking your money to enter, and they maybe have a prize at the end of it, but then you that's the end of it. You don't get any real whether you can use it in marketing. I'm sure you can use it in your own marketing, but they don't do anything now. Because I was talking about the World Series, they had people that gave you really constructive criticism. Now, GD is somebody who would not be able to handle any of that because he's uncoachable and thinks he knows everything anyway. But that's a valuable thing, is having somebody actually.
I'm sorry, I have to correct that. I do not think I know everything. Okay, I think I know everything worth knowing. Slight difference.
Fair
okay, I get you.
But so, have you done other competitions, and do you agree with me that most of them are not real? They're just money grabs. They're about producing stuff and not really helping you advance your career at all.
Yeah, I do think competitions can be hit or miss. Also, the quality of the judging can also vary, because some competitions, especially I think a lot in the Northeast, especially many in the New York area, effectively can turn into bringers. If it's an audience vote, it can basically just be whoever brought the most audience members. Because if you brought 20 people and there are 40 people in the crowd, and those 20 people are guaranteed to vote you number one on that show, regardless of how you did, you're probably going to move on. Whereas ones that aren't an audience vote, or put more weight to the judges, if the judges know what they're talking about, I think tend to usually be better, and don't turn
unless unless the judges have friends that are in the competition.
Thinks he knows everything.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, if that's the case, that certainly that could be a conflict of interest. But yeah, I think it is very hit or miss. I mean, I think the World Series judging tends to be pretty consistent, and I think for the most part makes sense. Another one I did this year, which I thought was good, was Loons on the Lake in Minnesota. That one I thought the judging was good, and they had good industry judges at that one who I thought knew what they were talking about. So yeah, some can be good, but yeah, a lot of them can be can be hit or miss.
Yeah. Do you admit in public that you actually know Ron Kane, or that he knows you?
Not really. I never get asked, so it doesn't really ever come up.
So, if no detectives have stopped by to ask you, or any? Are you
Not
aware
not
of Ron?
not yet, but I'm waiting any day. I'm sure it'll happen at some point.
He's not listening now. You can be quite frank with us, but you can be frank. You can be frank,
Oh,
Ben. Uh,
What
you
you
can
don't
be
want to
Frank
do is
Ben.
you don't want
You
to be
can't be
on
Ben
the
Frank.
on Ron's on his guest list to his island.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
right.
you do not want.
Yeah. Um, now, I mentioned you're kind of a buff guy. You're a big buff guy. Big buff guy. We're trying to get away from the homoeroticism on here, but I'm going to mention one more time that you're a big buff guy. But here's the thing. I have a book by Steve Allen written in the 1960s about comedy, and it says right away that in the first chapter, the look of a comedian should not be that. You shouldn't be good looking. You should strive to be funny looking. But more and more, we're seeing people, comedians who actually are good looking people, and in shape and all that. And that was not the prescription from the old time comedians. You was a funny look and all that kind of stuff. Good looking was not part of the equation. Now we're seeing more and more attractive. Ron has Lana behind him there, and I'm sure he jerks off to that every night. But we're seeing more and more people who are concerned in comedy.
You guys are really trying to get Ron in trouble here. Wow.
Yeah, no, we definitely we love to get Ron in trouble. Wait, he's kind of freaky. I don't know if you know this about him. He's got like a major lingerie fetish. You'll probably find out soon enough if you get to know him at all. But so we're just seeing all the attractive people in comedy. It's kind of breaking all the rules. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, being a kind of a buff guy.
Oh, well, I mean, I appreciate you putting me in that category. I don't know if I properly belong there, but I mean, I think it's coming down to the fact that I just think a lot more different kinds of people are going into comedy in general, and I think uh, I think maybe in the past those people that are maybe on the more attractive side would have just gravitated towards acting or modeling or something like that, and some of them are trying comedy now, and I think many of them will not be successful, but I think some of them just by the numbers, if enough people go into something, occasionally you'll find some of them that are actually good,
Yeah.
and I think that's what we're discovering is although it's not, I think it's not maybe typical, because people would think, oh, if you're if you're good looking, then you didn't have to work on your personality, or you don't have to work on your sense of humor. I think occasionally you find people that that have both. I remember like when when John Hamm was first getting famous, and then he goes on SNL and people realize how funny he was. People were like, well, this isn't fair. You're not supposed to be funny and good looking. That's not
Right.
But then I think over time now it's even less than compared to 15 years ago. I think there's more of like, okay, I guess anyone, if they work at it, could be funny.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
good looking.
I don't
Yeah.
know about that. I mean, you can't really work on good looking. If you were born really,
Matt Rife did. Matt Rife apparently was a troll, and now he's had work done, and he's
Yeah, he definitely worked on his teeth for sure.
yeah, and his jawline. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that. He's had a fake jaw implant or something like that, and then gone to the gym.
So I've heard. See, I don't know what he looks like, but that's what I've heard.
Oh well, okay. You're right, though. You're right about that one. I hate
Don't
to
worry.
say.
Don't worry. GD's audio will continuously get worse.
Yeah. Yes. So now, are you a road dog? Are you constantly on the road working, or you stay kind of regional?
No, I'm on the road quite a bit, and I'm getting on the road more. I do quite a few festivals. I'm starting to do more brewery shows. Just to get out on the road and headline more, and just get more long sets. As I said, at bars, breweries, wineries, and now some clubs as well. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting because New York can be a good place to get reps, but you can't really get long sets in New York at all, and you can't really get paid in New York at all. So if you want to get paid at all, and if you want to do long sets, you kind of have to do the road. So
I'm surprised to hear that. Well, maybe because I'm not New York City, I'm Long Island. But you know what? I happen to know paydays of some of the people who have worked with some of the clubs around here, and I looked at it in my eye. I was like astonished that headliners could get paid what they get paid here. Like I don't want to mention the club. People know the clubs that we're talking about, but not.
Sure.
But I was astonished.
Yeah,
And
I
what's
think
it envelope at the end of the night?
Well, I think it's different certainly when if comedians from the city are coming out to the island and they're headlining it, they're headlining a weekend, whereas in New York City, pretty much all the clubs are showcase clubs. So even at the Cellar, if you happen to be a Cellar comedian and you've gotten to that high level, which is almost the highest level you can get to, you're doing a 15-minute set, and from what I've heard of the people that are in there or work there, at most, I think you're getting paid $100 or $150, and
Wow.
that's basically that's the top standard in in New York City.
Yeah.
So
I have a friend who is not exactly like a name. People recognize his name, but he's not like one of the hot national headliners. And a gig opportunity came up, and I presented it to him. I was a middleman. Somebody was, you think you can get him to do my show in Georgia for $10,000 for an hour on a Friday night? And he said, "I'm not going to Georgia for 10 grand." I'm like, whoa! I mean, you're talking 1 hour's work for 10 grand, and that is your reaction to it? I would be like, who do I have to blow? How many people do I have to blow?
I'll come out for half that right now. Let's go.
So that was a shock to me, and so to hear that, to go to Georgia for 10 grand for 1 hour, one on a Friday night, that New York comics of bigger name, bigger stature in the show business world are not getting necessarily that. And maybe you didn't say that, but that's what I was just thinking when I was
yeah, I mean, certainly that person is obviously doing very well if that's the case.
You
obviously.
would think, but again, he's a headliner, but not. He's not on that level. He's not a Nate Bargatze or any of the. Not even close to that league. He's a governor.
But obviously, I don't know who this person is, but maybe even if they have a smaller audience, maybe their audience is really committed and devoted, and they always come out, and the clubs know that, and they get paid accordingly.
Well, obviously, somebody has to believe that in order to offer him 10 grand for an hour show on a Friday. It wasn't even a weekend. Right. But the quickness with which he reacted to me, I'm not going to Georgia for 10 grand. I was like, whoa, I would go to fucking Swahili, where I don't even know if Swahili is a place.
It's a language, I think, but good job.
Yeah. Oh, look, Sam Morrill's texting me right now. That's nice. I got to check that out later. People text me during the show, like they think I got. I'm available 24/7. Anyway, so when you got into comedy, I'm sure it wasn't for the payday or dreams like that. But is it fair to say that at this point, it's paying off for you? Because it seems like it would be. If not, a lot of people are going to give up.
It hasn't quite paid off financially yet.
Really?
But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely still making my way in that department. I mean, I feel like I'm at this point, it's I feel like I'm close to getting some breaks. But I mean,
you're not going to buy a mansion in LA or like tomorrow or something. Like you're not ready for it.
Maybe the day after. But
all right. All right. See, I thought, because you've put in your dues, you've won the competition, you have a name that people know about, and you have a special out now. Let me be frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, as I said,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think for the people out there who hear you say that, well, it hasn't quite worked out financially for me yet. These are people who are like, they've been getting paid $5 to $20, if anything, for years and years, and then they hear you say, "Well, I'm giving up then." I'm giving up.
Well, I mean, the thing is, every the trajectory of everyone's career is different. So some people it might happen slow and gradually. Some people it might plod along forever, and then all of a sudden things change really quickly, and all of a sudden they're getting paid a lot. I mean, I think for me, I've been in the game. I'm coming up on 9 years, which is a decent amount of time. But there are people who've been in it longer than I have. So the fact that they usually say in general, even if you kind of know what you're doing, it still takes around a decade to kind of figure out what you're doing on stage and all of that. So to be where I am, even though it hasn't totally come together financially yet, at 9 years is not that unusual, or is not even I'd say like a crime, like, oh, I deserve things by now. It's I don't think it's not an outrageous timeline to still kind of be working through things. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm getting better, and things are happening in festivals and competitions. I'm getting booked to headline more. So these are all good indicators, but financially it is still, still scrapping.
So Ben, if do you do like private events? You can be booked for private events.
I would love to. I haven't really been able to break into that space yet.
Now, because my question is then, because if you're booked for a private event, let's say for a 70th birthday party, and you book in advance, you're paid in advance, the day before the actual event you're supposed to perform at, the guest of honor, the 70-year-old, dies, and the people want a refund. Do you refund them their money because the birthday person died?
Sounds like a very specific hypothetical you're coming up with.
Did this happen to you?
I'm just who's the guest? I'm asking the questions. You're the guest. Answer the fucking question. I want to know what to do.
I agree with him. I want to know that. I want to know that too, because it sounds like a very specific hypothetical you just came up with. Did this happen to you?
I mean, I think it depends. I think it depends on the contract, because if say if, as I said, if the pay was all in advance, or if the pay was half beforehand and half when you show up,
you're paid in full.
You paid in full, and it happens the day before. I mean, I'd be, I might work with them, but you might be inclined to. I think you have to keep at least a portion of the money, because having that gig, it kept you from booking other things that could potentially get you paid. So
right, it's not your fault that they died.
Well, it's not your fault that they died, and also you don't have time to rebook and to get other work. So I do think you are owed something in that.
Yeah, you know what?
What about keeping the money and offering to do the material at the wake?
Oh, okay. I mean, this could be it could be a nice compromise.
See, that sounds now it doesn't sound like very specific. It sounds like you're just making shit up here. But I wanted to say also that your mic is distorting a little bit. That brand new mic that you got, it's got a little bit of clipping going on. But there is a difference between private work and corporate work. I mean, and like club work. Club owners are more likely to want to screw you over on something like that. Private event, and I'm just speaking from the obviously a musician's point of view here. Private events are much more apt to be fair with you, to honor a contract, not have any gripes about you. I've gotten paid for not playing, showing up, and things got rained out, but got paid in full for all that stuff. Or I've showed up, and I think I talked about this when they were bringing grandma out of the house dead in front of me, and still got paid for the whole gig. Private events generally are more, we made the deal with you, we'll honor the contract. But club owners are more like, how can I screw this guy out of a couple of bucks here? So that's my take on it. But coming back to the money thing, I'm surprised because Erica Rhodes is on America's Got Talent tonight in the semifinals. Vote for her. And I know her enough that I don't really know her finances, but she always is joking about it. And she's been in it since she's 12 years old. She's now, I don't want to say her age, but she's 41. But that's a long time to be in it, to be joking
Sure.
about, I'll know I made it when I can afford a headboard or stuff like that. And a lot of that is joking, but I know she does. She's been working hard at it for all those years. And it's real, like, comedy is not, it's so disparaging. You're either a billionaire or a multimillionaire, or you're fucking struggling and still eating fish out of a can. And there's no in between. There's no like, I'm comfortable, or is there? And I just don't know about it.
Yeah, they certainly do exist. I mean, I'm not in that situation, but I mean, I know a lot of people who, I think they comfortably get the club work, or they have, as I said, their, private work or corporate work that they get, or they do cruises. I know a lot of people who, you might not see around doing clubs, but they're on boats maybe 30 or 40 weeks a year, and they're not making huge money, but it's enough for it to be a career. So I know some people who make six figures doing cruise ships.
Yeah.
If they get enough work on it. So that's kind of part of I think like a middle ground there of someone who like makes a really solid career, might not be a household name, might not be, multimillionaire, but someone who can still pay their bills and live somewhat comfortably off of comedy.
Right. Now tell me about your special Let Me Be Frank. Let me Ben Frank. Let me be Frank. Let me Ben Frank. Where was it taped?
So it was recorded at St. Mark's Comedy Club in the East Village in Manhattan.
Okay, I know that club now. Did I hate to be like this? It's like I'm prying, but was it produced? Did you have a production company do it for you, or did you self-finance it?
So I self-financed it. I hired a director, someone I had recommended from a friend, a director who, as part of the, what I paid him and everything, was able, provided, the camera people, and did a 4-camera shoot with, with miking the audience. And then also, afterwards, when we, went through the video, did, work through the editing process with me, because I personally, for 4-camera shoot, I don't have the technical abilities to do the editing of something like that. So we kind of went back and forth where, he did the 4-camera shoot, he would give me the videos, and I would, comment and give artistic direction, and then he would, execute to the best of his abilities. And also,
that's what I was going to ask you. Like, I think I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think it's kind of tricky for me. I would think that you being the artist would want to be in the room, not do it like remotely. Send me something, a draft, and I'll give you feedback on it, and you can make corrections. You'd want to be in the room with it and can say, "Oh, can we go to this shot here? Or can we go to that?" No, that didn't work out, or it's cost prohibitive, or.
Yeah, I think in terms of logistics, that can be difficult to pull off, to get you both in the same room to do that. So I mean, it's possible, because we weren't able to do that. Things took a little longer than they otherwise would have, because I mean, I'm traveling a lot, he's traveling a lot. He's also, obviously also got other clients he's working with. But I mean, what I would do is, with the drafts he would send me, especially once, because the first step was with it, because we did 2 shows, is 2 shows in one night, is figuring out, what do we want to keep from each show, because that's the whole point of doing the 2 shows, is you never know how each one is going to do. Some jokes might do better this show, some jokes might do better this show. Potentially you could flub a line on one show and do it better on the next show. So I initially had to send him like a spreadsheet of about 70 to 80 line items, being like, okay, basically take this from the first show. Here's the starting point. Here's the ending point. Take this from this show. Here's the starting point. Here's the ending point. So basically, the first draft of it was 70 or 80 different clips that I was kind of telling him to take. And then once we even had that, then we needed to do the camera angles. And then he would send me, what the draft looked like. And if they were just transitions or cuts that I thought looked weird, I just put, marked at this timestamp, this looks weird, we can't do this, or this looks a little strange. And in some of the drafts, I probably had 30 or 50 comments of things I wanted changed or thought didn't look good. So it took a little while, but eventually we got to a point that, where I'm like, okay, this looks pretty good.
Does it mess with your mindset when you're doing your show to think this is going to be edited? I want to hit the marks the same way, in the same mannerism that I did last show and all that kind of stuff. Your mindset about how you deliver the material because you're conscious of that it's going to be edited, and you want to be as close to, you want to kind of repeat the same show in the same order and the same marks and the same positioning and all that kind of stuff. Do you think about those things, or you just let it go and do your show as naturally as you can and then worry about it later?
No, I definitely was thinking about it for sure. I mean, a lot of it that I was thinking about was actually, since I knew we were going to edit, I tried to, at certain points, deliberately leave a beat or two to make the editing process easier, to give room to edit or cut between certain things. I also made sure that try to make sure the stool was in the same location, that if I had a cup of water, it was the same looking,
right?
It's the same looking cup of water. It's on the same part of the stool, or that I put the mic stand at the same part of the stage after I took it out and removed it, like just the little details like that.
Stanhope talked about that with the guy. He said when he's on stage, he doesn't bring a glass anymore. He brings a opaque cup for continuity reasons, because you don't want to see, well, there was that much in there and now there's that much in there. In an interview, I heard him talking about that, and he's in continuity. And the host that was was interviewing said, "You know who would notice that? Matt Napa would notice that." I thought that was cool to be. I got a mention in an interview with a comedian, but I do. A lot of people would not notice it, and when you're watching comedy, a comedy special, you don't want to be drawn into thinking about that this is not. You want it to feel like you're in the audience of a seamless show that was one show. You don't want to think, well, this was 2 or 3 shows that got pasted together and all cut up and pasted together and all that kind of stuff.
No, I had, for the cup, I had like a white paper cup, so you can't see how much is in it.
Right. Good thinking. So. And you don't smoke, because that's another thing. If you got a cigarette and it's like, it's long and the short, and all that kind of stuff. Distribution wise, now I have Ben Frank Comedy in the description. It's going across. Where's it going to be distributed?
So the special is on YouTube, but if you go to benfrankcomedy.com, there's a large embedded YouTube link on the landing page of my website that'll take you right to the special. The video will be on YouTube. I'm in the process of producing the audio album, so it'll eventually be its own audio album, but that's
Spotify, or is that a fan club kind of thing where you have to sign up for it, or how does that work?
No, so it'll I'll put it on the major platforms. It should be on like Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon. I mean, I'm hoping, I'm working with a label, so I'm hoping to get some of it on Sirius. They've been able to get some of my material on Sirius in the past, so I'm hoping to do that again, because that's really, Sirius is, if you're talking about audio for comedy, it's the best way to get paid for your stuff. So if you can get it through and get it played on there.
I apologize for being so much about your own personal finances in the business of this thing, but I think a lot of the audience, a lot of comedians who want to do this stuff, and a lot of people want to be you. They're curious about this stuff, because the YouTube phenomenon, where people are releasing specials to YouTube, is something I'm curious about. Do you work at because you're not monetized on YouTube until you get a certain number of views and watch hours, and continue to have those watch hours on a continuous basis, and they can demonetize you if you fall short of that number. I think it was 1,000 a year or something like that. I'm not sure what it is now. But so do you work on getting your channel monetized before you put out the special? Because if not, you could put out the special and then you have to wait, and you might not get paid for the first, I don't know, million views or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in a position to monetize right off the bat, and who knows when I'll ever get to that point. But for me, I think, and for most people, I think doing YouTube specials, if you're not if you're not being offered a Netflix special, where you're getting a huge payday for it, uh, for the most part, YouTube is the best option in terms of getting the most eyeballs. Because
Right.
besides Netflix, any of the other streaming services don't tend to have the traffic that Netflix has. So and accordingly, you're probably not going to get paid that well. So I think for most people, um, if the payday is not significant, then YouTube is a really good option for them. Just to make sure that it gets in front of the most people it possibly can. Um, make the barriers to
So the
entry as
goal,
possible.
it sounds like you're saying this, and maybe you're not. So I just want to be clear. The goal is to get it in front of as many eyeballs so that you get as many people out to your live shows, not so much to make money on the special.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would love to make money on the special. I just, at the time I'm releasing it, I'm not in a position to really demand that from a streaming service or anybody like that. So for me, it's about it's about advancing my career, getting people out to the live shows, but also, if I reach out to bookers now, or if I apply to festivals now, I have a full length special that's out that people can go look at, which just hopefully adds some legitimacy to who you are. If people are wondering, oh, who is this comic? I've never heard of him before. And they look you up and they see you have a special and they're like, okay, this looks professional. Some people have watched it. These are the things you hope that, it helps to, add some legitimacy to who you are.
Well, thank you for if nothing else this morning, you have given me a light bulb of a a business, because I can help anybody get their YouTube channel monetized very pretty quickly. There's some tricks to doing it, and I'm not going to say what they are because now there is a financial interest on my end. But I can, you know what? I can put out a service for comedians who are looking to put out a special on YouTube. I can get your channel monetized before you put your special out, so that you will make some money. You're never going to make big money. I mean, I'll tell you what YouTube pays me for 1 million views. It's like $1,200 for 1 million views. It's not a big thing, but monetization will definitely help. And you want to make, especially if you're financing the production of it, you want to at least make your money back, right? Everybody want. I mean that. At least at a minimum, you want to do that. But because Billy Wayne Davis put out a tweet the other day, he said, I'm going to try and paraphrase this here. He said, people who are in comedy, is there a proven promotional thing that actually puts fannies in the seats? And that's a great question, because everybody wants to know that, because people are all over social media working hard to get people to come out to comedy shows, and it feels like it's hit or miss. I think there is a strategy to it, and there is a science to it. But I just want to get your take on it. Do you work that, like when you're doing shows, are you constantly promoting yourself, or do you work with somebody who promotes you, or do you leave it up to the club?
No, I mean, obviously the club does whatever they want. I try to promote as best I can. I mean, at this point, because certain clubs, they might have a good foothold in their local scene, and because so much of this comes down to, if you're not a big name, certainly you can promote to your followers. But if you're going to one specific town, who knows if you have any followers in that area, or how many
Right.
followers you have in that
Yeah.
area. It can be,
Most
even if you have a big
comedians,
following.
I'll just tell you, on the consumer part of it, where people are not hardcore comedy fans, they will go to a comedy club at like date night, right? And they
Right.
don't even know any of the comedians on the bill. And then the next day, even though they say, we saw a bunch of comedians last night, yeah, what were their names? Nothing. They don't
Yeah,
remember the
it
names.
sure. And that
So
and that happens that happens a lot. I mean, I try, it's certainly something I need to improve on in terms of self-promotion and getting my name out there. I mean, it's tough because some people it will have big followings. I was just, talking to someone actually last night, a comedian in the city here who, has done relatively well on Instagram, has well over 100,000 followers. But he said he tried to film something maybe a few months back, in the city, and he was only able to get like 15 people to come out.
yeah.
And that's someone with over 100,000 followers. Now, I do not have nearly the following he does, but the way I got people out to film my special was once I had the date booked about 4 months in advance, I started DMing people like save the dates. Be like, hey, I'm filming my special on March 24th. Save the date if you're around, come. And then, I just started harassing people, leading up to it. And even, people who'd come to my live shows who followed me on Instagram, I sent them DMs to be like, hey, if you saw me a couple months ago, I'm filming like just because I knew I couldn't rely on people just showing up because I know I don't have that big of a following. So that's how I was able to cobble it together. But it was nonstop kind of hitting people up for months.
There is so much opportunity for young people who are marketers, not in show business, but to work with people in show business, because email marketing is extremely effective if you know how to do it right. That's why I was suggesting when I said there is a science to putting people in the seats. Email marketing, creating events that are special events, like, okay, a taping is one thing, but how do you make it enticing for the consumer to come out? They're not, being part of the special is not such a great thing, but working with the club, say, what can we do special that night? Whether it's a twofer, whether, on dinners or whatever, working in a marketing sense with the clubs and the venues to say, I know, because you have comedy there every night and people can't remember all the comedians that are available, and why should this night be something special to get people to come out? Marketing people can do that. And if I was not an old bastard like I am now and wanted to create a niche for myself in the marketing business, I would hook up with people I believed in as far as their art, and then work really hard towards those things, like being their email manager, their social media manager, and using tried and tested marketing techniques and dealing with the venues, working with the venues. That's a big part of it, getting the venues to work and cooperate and put up there. Because a lot of times, and Ron knows this, I know because we've had these discussions, the clubs, they leave it all up to you, and they're not willing to lift a finger. They expect you to bring people in pre-sales and all that stuff, and they haven't done anything to work on the pre-sales themselves. And then they act like, well, what did you do? What did I do? Where were you? Why can't we be partners from the start on making this a successful night? And I know they have different things every night, and it's hard to put all that energy into partnering with every single. But if you're going to make it work, I think that's really
Yeah.
important. So.
Yeah, I mean, it can be tough. I mean, unfortunately, it is kind of the reality nowadays that most or a lot of the clubs have kind of put that onus on the headliners. And I mean, I get if you're a huge name and you're supposed to be a draw, you're a big star, then obviously your name is supposed to sell tickets. That's the whole point. But the idea of people like that is hopefully when all the onus is on them to sell tickets, and they do sell that they're getting paid for it. The people you talk about who are getting paid, 30,000 for a weekend, that's why they're getting paid so much, is because their name brings in tickets. But the problem, or the point where it gets tricky, is that the expectation is the same, that you're putting butts in seats when you're only getting paid 500 for the weekend.
Right.
It's like, well, well, you're paying me 500 because that's the value in tickets that you estimate that I can bring in. If you want to fill the room more, you need to do other work. The reason why you would pay someone $30,000 is you're effectively paying to not have to market.
Yeah.
That's really what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of you want to have your cake and eat it too. You're like, oh, I'm only going to pay this person 500, and hopefully they can bring out half the people that the 30,000 person brings out, and I get a surplus out of it.
Right.
But that's not always how it works. So it's a
Yeah.
little tricky, especially as an up and coming comedian.
You know what? Somebody needs to have that frank and honest discussion with venue owners, because you know what? If they've been in business for a while, they should know this. But it behooves them to really work out the logistics of the marketing at the time of booking. So if I call you and say, Ben, I have a weekend available in whatever month, and say, let's put something together if you're available. At that point, we should already be talking about what are we going to do to market this? What's our plan? What's our strategy? The venue should know that. If you've been in business for 30, 40 years, they should know that. But it seemed like they still want to take the lazy way out. And it doesn't really help their cause at all to be lazy about this. At the time of booking, we should be discussing how are we going to make this work? How are we going to make this work for all of us, and not be so concerned about how am I going to cut corners? How am I going to act like I have Dave Chappelle coming in and
Right.
and going to sell the place out and then settle for that kind of settling strategies never work. And so it's an important thing. Are you your own business manager, or have you gotten to the point where you work with booking agents and managers, or a manager and all that?
I mean, at this point, I do have some folks I work with, but I mean, a lot of that at this point is kind of speculative, or looking towards potentially getting, like TV, commercial, or theatrical work rather than stand up. In terms of stand up, I'm pretty much still booking all my own stuff. So but yeah, at this point for the comedy stuff, for the most
Right.
part, I'm still getting work based off of the connections that I'm building, rather than a manager contacting clubs and being like, hey, you should book this guy.
Yeah, that's it's a wet dream for a lot of comedians, or a lot of people in show business in general, is to have somebody doing that work for them. But if you can nurture those kind of relationships, it definitely helps. The one thing that I have talked about, because I come from a music background, and it's much easier if you're from a music background to grasp this concept that the venues are not selling music, even though they are hiring musicians. They're selling food and drink, and most of it they're concerned with. You're a liquor salesman, and this dawned on me very early in my career, and I was fortunate to have this light bulb go off that I'm a liquor salesman. Maybe I should reach out to the liquor companies and work out some sponsorships and make these nights an event about their brand. So it'll be Jose Cuervo presents the Rockin' 45s, or that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm not sure that's possible in comedy, but we've certainly discussed that idea of where do I really line up with a brand that I can believe in and not feel like I'm prostituting myself, but still get them involved in and helping them. First of all, that helps to bring people out. If it's a special night sponsored by whatever, that's a bigger thing for people who are looking. Oh yeah, they got all these kind of people looking for bang for their buck in an entertainment night or a date night and all that kind of stuff. Those kind of nights can make it very appealing, and I'm not sure that it's as feasible in comedy, but I don't see why it can't be if you really think about it. This whole.
No, my first special that I recorded had an alcohol sponsor, a vodka sponsor, and the place was packed because they also gave out free bottles of vodka.
Right.
The places. So I knew they weren't there to see me; they were there to see the vodka. But
yeah,
it didn't matter. While they were there getting the vodka, they saw me.
See, the problem is most people in entertainment don't think like business people. That's a sound business concept. But most people who are, whether you're a musician, an actor, a comedian, whatever, your mind isn't working in these kind of what's a sound business concept you think. Your thing is, how can I make my art as good as it can be? How can I do what I do as good as, and it should be on that. But at some point, if you don't have a business person in your corner working with you, you have to adopt a little bit of that mindset of like, how am I going to make this actually financially sound and a good business, a business, not just a hobby.
Right.
So, yeah. So the special is out now. Is it out now?
Yes. Yeah, it's out on it's out on YouTube. People can go and go find it. Obviously my website is listed there. So if you go to that website, there'll be a huge embedded link right on the landing page. The special is called Let Me Be Frank. And it's on YouTube. So if you want to go straight to YouTube, you can just search Ben Frank, Let Me Be Frank. It'll come up. It's been out now for a little less than 2 weeks.
A little less than 2 weeks. Have you are you like, I would be really full of anxiety checking my numbers every 5 minutes. Did we get any more views yet? Every 5 minutes.
Oh no, I'm constantly checking, constantly. Yeah, all the time.
I'm not sure that's a good thing, because for me,
No,
it leads to anxiety, and it leads to like worrying about the wrong things all the time. But it's a natural thing. It's hard to avoid, right? Once you get
yeah. I mean, I'm a little more relaxed about it now, because when it first comes out, there's just the whole spectrum of possibilities in terms of how well it can do, and you're just praying. You're like, I hope it just doesn't get like 50 views and that's it. So for me, I was just hoping like it gets enough views where it looks professional and doesn't look bad. That was really like my first, and we've passed that level. So I'm kind of, from this point, I'm like, okay, as long as it looks good, it looks professional, the material is good, and enough people have watched it that it's not suspicious when you click on the link. That's really
right. Are you first concerned with putting out shorts or reels from the minute clips, the in the phone aspect on social media, to use that to not only just to promote the special, but also promote your brand brand being Ben Frank? Are you concerned with that? And if so, are you planning on doing that yourself, or having hire a social media kid to do it for you, or all that stuff?
Yeah, I've already started putting out reels on like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts to promote the special and to keep promoting it. So
you do it?
I'm doing. Yeah. I'm doing that. I'm doing that myself. I mean, I did enlist the help of my director to kind of make a bumper at the end of these reels, like that promotes the special, that basically says, has a picture of me and it says, "Let me be Frank, watch now" on YouTube. So I put that at the end of the reels. And obviously I have it as like the link in my bio on Instagram. So just to try to help feed more people to the special.
Yeah, good thing. I'm glad that you are doing it yourself like that. Like, I'm taking stock in your business here. But so many comedians trust social media kids to do, and they're not the comedians. They don't know what the goal is, and there's two issues here. The best stuff that is going to really help you promote the brand, that people say, wow, that was really good, I got to find out more about this guy, or at least follow you and all that stuff. But then what you can afford to burn, and not, what you want out there, and not, because in a way you're losing that material forever if you put it out there and millions of people see it. You can't do that now in a club, right?
Well, I mean, luckily, not enough people have watched it where I at this point I can say, oh, I can't do this material yet. I mean, the hope is to phase this material out, as soon as I can. I mean, at this point, since I just released the special, if I go out and I do an hour, it's probably a third new material, 2/3 old material, and we'll see how the ratio goes from there. I mean, if the special were to all of a sudden get a ton of views, and a million people have seen it, then I might have to reevaluate. But at this point, we're not at that scale.
Well, after
so
you've been on
really
Mind Dog TV now, you've been on Coffee with the Dog now, and let people know about it. I would expect at least 4 or 5 more views in the next 5 years or so.
Minimum.
Perfect.
I know one of the things I might suggest is, when I do recorded sets, there's some material that I know is topical and it's going to lose its shelf life pretty quickly. And that's the stuff, if it worked good on the show, that's the stuff that I would use to promote, because it's going to lose shelf life anyway. And then you can replace it with something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, topical stuff is always good to post for sure. That's
All right. He added something of quality to the program for once. Good.
Sorry, it won't happen again.
No, I'm sure it won't. Now we will do what we can to support you with this. Now, has this been an enjoyable process for you? Is this something you want to repeat and do again?
In terms of recording a special?
Yeah, of doing the special and then going through the whole business part of what do I do with this now? I mean, obviously, the special is it's what you love to do. You're doing comedy not because you don't want to actually go out and build cars or build houses or be a plumber. So that I take it for granted that you love doing that, performing for the special. But the crap, the hiring of the crew, working on the editing stuff, is that something that you enjoyed and would make you want to continue doing that, or is it something that made you say, "Shit, I just want to do comedy"?
Well, I mean, the people I worked with on this were great and did a really good job with it. But certainly, the whole process of of the logistics and figuring this out and pulling it off. I was thinking about it when it came out. It was basically, obviously, there's the process of your career and getting better at comedy. That takes years and years. But even just the process of recording this special and all that went along with it was probably close to a year-long process of first thinking about, okay, where do I want to do it? When do I want to do it? And then talking to the venue, getting the date booked. Then once you get the date booked, starting to reach out to people to save the date. Making sure you have a host, openers, finding a director, promoting it, and then obviously booking dates to work the road, to practice the material and make sure the special is good. Then the day of, you actually record it, you execute it, then you've got to edit it, and then you finally get it out, and you're like, wow, that's been a year of my life.
Yeah, exactly. I think we just turned a lot of young comedians off from the whole process just in that description of it. Because a lot of it just anxiety feel like I want to get a host. I got to make sure it's a good host. Because I'll be quite frank. I'm being frank, honest with you here. I see a lot of comedians and a lot of people. They're not really in control of who is the openers or who is the host of the show when they're on the road. A lot of that is done by the club, and sometimes it's brutal. It's brutal, the matchups I see. And so just to kind of make sure you get the right people, that was something I didn't even consider when talking about the business stuff, is especially for a special, you want to make sure that the atmosphere in the room is right, that you got good people or the people that you want or opening and hosting the show for you. And all we're talking about is anxiety for part, and nobody gets into the arts to be filled with anxiety about the nights and all that stuff. I'm sure it's worth it on some level, but on some level it just sounds like overwhelming. So
and my host for the special, I had booked him. I was really excited to book him. I had booked him. Got him like 4 or 5 months before the event. I booked him. And I kept checking in with him just to be like, hey, you still good? And then and he was like, yep, I'm good. We got it. Everything's good. And then about a week out from the special, he got offered a weekend featuring for Craig Robinson. And so he just had to back out because it's obviously a way better opportunity. So,
see, I would never talk to that guy again. I would tell him that I know you're a nice guy and you wouldn't be me. But I would take him up to the roof, throw his ass off the roof, and then on his way down, I would say, "You fuck, you made a commitment to me." See, I'm really. This is
how tall is this building? You think you have that much time?
Well, yeah, he's got. Yes, I would yell, and yes, you're not going to throw a guy off of like a 2-story building. What good is that? He's going to like hurt his shoulder. If you want to really do damage, you got to take him up at least 10 stories, so you have time to yell at him on the way down what your beef is with him. But this, because I've been fucked like this so many times where people have made commitments to me that they're on a gig, and then something comes up and they're making excuses. Oh, I'll get you a fill-in. No, you don't get a fill-in for me. Get a fill-in for that next opportunity. You made this deal with me a year ago. Those kind of things, you just like triggered my thrown off the roof. Well, I don't like that shit. But you know, it is an opportunist world out there and people in the arts are definitely. I got a better offer, man. I got to take this. Yeah, no. How about a little bit of honoring your commitment, and then I'll tell people what a great person you are because you honor your commitments, and that will help you advance your career. How about that?
That doesn't look good on a resume, though.
I think it does. I think it actually does. Testimonials from people you've worked for that said, you know, it works because this is why people, when they work for you, can you send me a letter of recommendation? That whole thing. Letters of recommendation definitely do impress people. Testimonials from people you've worked for or opened for, and something like that. This is a great person, a professional who honors their commitments. That makes a difference with bookers. Believe it or not, it actually does. I'm off my soapbox. Anyway, Ben, thanks for being here. I really appreciate this. Now, lastly, my friend Erica is doing on America's Got Talent tonight. Vote for her, Erica Rhodes. Any interest in those kind of things? Do you pursue those at all? Those
Sure. I you know,
big
I'm
television.
I mean, I always look into things like that. I mean, I've you know, I've even met and I've had conversations with you know, someone who casts for America's Got Talent, but a lot of it also comes down to who, you know, who the producers of a show like that are looking for at the time that you're looking for those sorts of opportunities. Because sometimes, you know, sometimes you might fit the bill perfectly for what they're looking for. Sometimes you might not. And it doesn't necessarily come down to, there are a lot of hilarious comedians that'll never get chosen for something like America's Got Talent because just for, you know, whatever the producers happen to be looking for that season, they're not it. And so, you know, you gather information, you look into these sorts of opportunities. If something like that pans out, great. But if it doesn't, you know, you move on.
Well, good luck with the special, and I hope you whatever you're looking to do. A lot of comedians, a lot of musicians, a lot of actors don't really strategize out long term in terms of what they're looking to do. Like we live in 3-month windows of the future, right? At tops, sometimes or 6 months. Not necessarily thinking of the long term, but whatever it is that you want to get out of this endeavor that you've chosen, which is and people don't realize how hard it is. You know, the consumers just, oh, he only works an hour a night. It's got an easy life. Yeah. You don't know all the other struggles that come with it, but anything we can do to help promote it. BenFrankComedy.com. The special is out now. It's called Let Me Be Frank, and we appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you very much. And
great. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Good luck, man. And we'll do what we can to help promote it. So that's all we can. Thank you for being here. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Bye for now. Ben Frank, folks. Guys, learn anything there? Have we learned anything? Look at what I'm doing.
I learned that I'm never going to be anything.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I think that was good. There's a lot of information.
Does any of the stuff that I said, does that, because I know what you've heard me say it before, but this idea of thinking like a business person, thinking of when you're making the bookings, to think about it as an event and how can we make this a special, not just a comedy show, because there are comedy shows, 1,000 comedy shows in 1,000 cities that are just comedy shows. How do we make it an event like I don't want to say brand names, but a brand names special night where, you know, it's 2-for-1 dinners or whatever, all those kind of things that restaurants and venues will do when there's no shows there at all. Make it special so that people can say, yeah, this is not only great entertainment and a comedian that I'm interested in, but it's also the kind of night where I get the best bang for my buck for my date night or taking my wife out or whatever the fuck people are trying to do to get entertainment. You have to think in those terms. Did that resonate with you at all? Because I know I've said it a lot,
Oh yeah,
but I never
no,
hear
big
any
time.
feedback from you guys on like how do I apply that? Ron
No,
is
I
the
think
only
it-
one out of you guys
I
that
think it makes
had a
sense. I
conversation.
mean, it's when you just say comedy show, a lot of people are like, okay, cool. So yeah, I think thinking outside the box, finding that little niche or what makes it stand out is going to be the big thing for sure.
So if now when you're booking, I hate to put you on the spot here, but you're reaching out to the comedy clubs, or have you ever gotten the call from them, like an inward call, saying we need somebody for?
Not for an actual club gig. No, it's never been incoming. It's always been.
So you're reaching out. You're reaching out to the clubs. Don't you
for
think
the blessings and blasphemy, I was reached out for.
Okay. Now, when they reached out for you, now because you've done it
to me.
Right, but so the very first one, because you've been doing
The very
this for a
first
while.
one, and he wanted it for Thursday nights because he didn't have anything for Thursday nights, so to speak. So he went, and he said to me, "I want something different."
Good for you.
That was what his words were. I want something different, and I said, "Oh, I got different."
Right.
So.
Now,
And
did it occur to you to say, well, what are we going to say to them at this point? Yeah, you want somebody for Thursday night. Because this is, I'll be quite honest. I'll be frank. I'll be Ben Frank.
be Matt. Be Matt.
All right, I'll be Matt.
Hey, Frank's my legal first name, so I can be Frank.
No, you be
I
Matt
did not
also.
know that. I do know your legal last name, by the way. I have not shared it with people because I know you want to keep it private because the FBI terror watch list and all that kind of stuff. But when I get the phone call from a venue and they say we have an opening, my first thing is, you're expecting me to bring all the people, right? Or do you have a lure? Because saying Matt Napo is going to be here, or the Rockin' 45s are going to be here, or whatever, Hank Porter's going to be here. That's not going to bring people in. We have to do something to make it a special event. This is my first conversation when I get the call, and I get those calls almost daily. Got one I have to answer. I got one this morning. I'm going to start with that. Like, what are we going to do to make this a special night that people want to come out? When the Church of Satire called you, was that part of your conversation? Did you say, yeah, I got something special for you, and that was it? Or did you say, what are we going to do to make this a special event night that people are compelled to go out?
With the Church of Satire, since they are a comedy club, and they have like they promoted this just like they promoted everybody else. So they didn't do anything special for me. Now, the one thing that they, that I went out and did on my own, I made flyers, and I went to the club and posted them there for people to take. There were a few businesses in the area that I handed flyers out at those businesses. And since they had an open mic, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't do the open mics. Well, actually, one of the open mics, I went after the open mic and I handed out flyers after the open mic, and I actually performed at one of their open mics to promote the show. And so, since it was being at that event, I did go to a couple of their shows and hand out flyers after the show.
Well, right now at this point, I have to fire myself from this program because I did forget to say goodbye to Govs.